Hey everyone, in this video I'm going to talk about 4 things that I wish I would have done differently or not at all during van life. Here we go. Okay, first one, a TV. So I added this TV. It's not very big. It's a 24-inch TV on a swivel mount, so you can move it out of the way. You can move it from one spot to the other. And honestly, I never turn it on. I never watch it. It's just there. I don't use it for anything. So the TV for me, that was one of the biggest mistakes I made, and I also blocked off my front and back area. So it's a lot harder for me to get to the front area from back here if I wanted to. It's still doable, but it's a lot harder. Now, honestly, I like it a little bit because it blocks off the front, so it makes it look more like a little room. You forget so much that you're in a vehicle because it's blocking the steering wheel, it's blocking the seat, and it just feels more homey, but I'm not using it at all. So it's kind of a regret of mine having purchased it and spending money and time to put it up. Okay, the second thing that I regret, this I regret the way I did it, not doing it. So it's the bed. So this bed in particular, the way I built it is that it collapsed in itself to become a sofa. Now, when I want to extend it to a bed, I have to extend the top piece upward and out, which is somewhat uncomfortable to do. I wish I would have done more of a setup where it extends out and sits on top of this once it's fully extended. That would have been a better setup. So an extension platform would have been a much better setup. It would have been easier and less of a hassle. So overall, even though I like the bed, I like everything about the setup, I just wish I would have changed that one thing out of the whole setup. Okay, number 3 and number 4 come hand in hand with what I would have changed. And the power supply is one of them. So I have a solar panel, a 100-watt solar panel that charges my power station. So unfortunately, most of these power stations, they do not charge when the AC is running. So when I have this refrigerator running through this, it is not being charged. So it'll consume all the electricity within a couple hours, and then I have to unplug it or turn it off and charge it again. So power supply, I thought this was gonna be a better setup because whenever I'm not in my van or whenever I'm doing another activity or staying somewhere else, I could always carry this with me, take it off the van and use it even when I'm not doing the van life experience. But for van lifing itself, it's one of the worst things that I did because it doesn't hold as much battery, it doesn't hold as much power as a regular rechargeable battery. And there's so many things that you have to take into consideration, like what I just explained on the charging. So that brings me up to my next item, which is the refrigerator. I thought that having a refrigerator in van life was going to be great, and I'm sure it can be great if you have the right power supply. So here in California right now, it's about high 90s degrees Fahrenheit. The last month or so, it's been 105 to 120 degrees Fahrenheit. So car refrigerators like this one, they don't have a lot of insulation. So the problem is that with this refrigerator at this temperature inside of a van, you're using all your energy in about 2.5 hours. So this goes from full to empty in 2.5 hours. You are unable to keep anything fresh unless you carry a very, very expensive power supply, which at that point, it'd be better to just buy a rechargeable battery with an inverter and just get a regular solar panel setup than a power station setup. So I wanted to make it 5 things that I wish I would have done differently or not done at all for my van life. But honestly, I couldn't find a 5th thing. Most of the items that I did or most of the stuff that I have, they're useful and I like their functionality, and that's it. Like, I don't have anything else that I would change or regret doing besides the items that I already talked about. Maybe if I had to do a 5th one would be my sink. I would just build it differently, the inside of it. as opposed to the way I did it. But at the end of the day, I'm satisfied with it. So it wouldn't be genuine if I say that I wanted to change it. But 4 things that I wish I would have done differently for my van life.